Welcome, friends, to another Wolff Responds. This is, in fact, the second of a three-part series of Wolff Responds on economics and the election coming up in November. I want to reiterate at the outset that I'm not arguing that there's no difference between Republicans and Democrats or Trump and Harris. There are differences, important ones, but they're mostly about non-economic issues, things like guns and abortion and so on. There are some differences in economics, and they're very traditional. The Republicans tend towards the rich and the corporations to favor them. Mr. Trump wants to extend the tax cuts that he got through in December of 2017. They should last even longer, and they favor corporations and the rich, whereas Harris and the Democrats are a bit more tilting to put a little tax on people earning over $400,000 a year and a few other programs like that. Okay, but I want to talk about the really big economic issues, and I want to show you, and I'm sad about it, that the two parties have nothing to say about these issues. And they certainly haven't done anything. And if they promise to do anything, it'll be an empty promise because that's what they've been giving us for many years. The first of the three issues that they're silent about is what the first of these three Wolff Responds was about: instability of our economy. This time I want to talk about inequality. We have an extraordinary level of inequality. A tiny number of our people, that's where that famous 1% comes from, have enormous wealth. And you all know about them because their boring activities are in the press. The resorts they attend to, the celebrity parties they have, the $1 million weddings for their kids, all of that. And then there's the mass of the people who are having a hard time making ends meet. The inequality is stunning. 75 years ago, the United States was less unequal than most of the countries in Europe. Today, 75 years later, the epitome of the American empire, we have the dubious distinction of having greater inequality in wealth and income than most of the countries of Europe. Wow, what an achievement. 75 years during which, you bet, the rich got richer and the rest of us didn't. Not in the way they did. That's why the gap is horrible. Horrible. And that requires dealing in a basic way with that fact. And we know why it is, because every business in this country, with very few exceptions, has a group of people who run it at the top: the owner, the person who started the business. In a corporation, and they do most of the business, it's 15, 20 people in the board of directors. And the major shareholders, 10% of our people own 80% of the shares. This group at the top, they give themselves the bulk of the wealth, the high salaries, the high pay packages. They're the ones who earn the dividends and the capital gains. And they're the rich. And you're not. And that's how this system works. And it always has. Only it's worse now than ever. So what are our leaders going to do about it? Answer: nothing. And that's what they've been doing, Republicans and Democrats alike. The Republicans pretend like it isn't happening. The Democrats will give you an occasional speech. We should be doing something that more people participate in our economy. Oh, thank you very much. Lovely speech. And then they go on and, like their Republican colleagues, they do nothing. Let me give you a couple of examples real quick. The last time we raised the minimum wage, that's what we pay as a society to the poorest amongst us. The last time we raised it was 2009 to the lofty sum of $7.25 an hour. We've never raised it since. 15 years, every year the prices went up. Every year of the last 15, look it up. But we didn't raise the income of the poorest. That's a torture of the poorest. They're working for $7.25 an hour. They can afford 1.5 lattes in a low-cost coffee shop for that hour. What are we doing? Billionaires and $7.25 an hour. What kind of a society? What are the Democrats and Republicans going to do about this? Nothing. Even they don't promise to do something. For example, both Trump and Harris want to remove taxes on tip income. I'm all in favor of that. Who couldn't be? But that's not going to change the basic inequality of our economy, nor is an expanded child tax credit. These are all very nice things, but these are the equivalent of marginal adjustments. You're not dealing with the fundamental question. You're hoping people will be so excited you're doing something because it's better than nothing, that the basic inequality story, which has been getting worse for the last 50 years, will continue to do so. And that's what the programs offered by Trump and Harris amount to. A large economic nothing burger. And that ought to be front and center what we as a people demand. Because, if neither of the two parties really addresses it, then neither of them has to worry about it being an issue that they're quiet about. You know what that means? We need a real opposition party, a party that says it's unacceptable to have this level of inequality. Elon Musk, with hundreds of billions of dollars he can't imagine what to do with, and millions of families who can't afford to send their kid to college, who can't afford to take time off, who can't build their family because they're so busy running around trying to make a living, who can't start a family because it's impossible, etc. We need a party that's in opposition to all of that. And we're not going to get that from the cozy Republican, cozy Democratic, back and forth and either or. That's the truth of the economic silence of the two parties. If interventions like this strike you as valuable, please share this video with your friends, your coworkers, your relatives. That's why we make them, to raise points that otherwise would not get the airing that they deserve. And of course, if you can help us defray the costs of producing and distributing these videos, it's easily done. Just go to our website, democracyatwork.info, and help in that way. It's another form of partnering with us. Thank you.